Get set. All right, we're going to get set now. You're going to go into your classroom and you get assigned to a classroom. This is great. And you get the set of keys and you're really excited about getting into your classroom. You know, we all have that excitement and it's like getting keys to a car, you know, you're really excited about that. And the secretary gives you a really nice, gentle smile and best wishes. And you head to your room and it's moving day and your room looks something like this. All right. Or worse yet, your room looks something like this. Okay, so when your room looks like that, you are going to have to figure out, what am I going to do to get my room together here? Again, expect to get dirty. So bring your cleaning supplies and your gloves and your trash bags. Bring some friends. I've had students bring their parents in to start working on the room. Look at the condition of the room. Again, your lights, your windows, your shades, cabinets, things like that. If they need to be tightened or repaired, try to get those things repaired and assess what's already there. Now, most classrooms, you may have desks that look like this. Okay, what we call just the simple chair, table and chair. I like the little bottom parts here. You know why? Because kids throw all the garbage in there. So hopefully you don't get these kind of desks. I've seen them around. Or you get what we call the one-arm bandits. I'm sure you've seen the one-arm bandits, and you can do a lot with the one-arm bandits. Like here, they could have it in rows, or you could organize your tables so that they put in their groups of 4 as table groups. You can do a lot of things there. What you need to do is assess what you have. Now, what you want may not really be what is there in the room. So you're going to have to deal with it. Again, if you're new to the building, and by now, teachers who want certain rooms, let's say they want a room that has more shade, or they want more room with more light, or they want room with newer furniture, they've already taken it. So what's left over is what you're going to get. I hate to say that. Hopefully you get a nice room. When you get in there, get rid of junk. You know, get rid of all the junk that you see that's there. Put it out in the hallway. Ask the custodian if you can get rid of junk. Again, make it as clean as possible. The other thing I forgot here. Oh, you know, one of these. These are staple remover. If you ever see one of these little staple removers, these are great. These are better than the other ones because if you have a bulletin board that's in your room, the previous teacher probably left like 5,000 staples on it. And this thing just goes right up like that. It's a beautiful little piece. I bought it. It's a lifesaver. All right. That's at no extra charge. Now the teacher space. Your teacher has a space at their own work area. Make sure you have your own work area. And I say this is a student-free zone, all right? Don't let students sit there, all right? Oh, Mr. Lee, I need a place to sit. Okay, you sit over here. Can I sit there? No, you cannot sit here. Don't make this a student-free zone. Not only that you have your own stuff there, your own personal stuff there, but the students need to respect that space for you, all right? When you have the desk arrangement, again, it's not even for TAs. I always get that question, can TA sit there? No, don't let a TA sit there. Let a TA sit in the back, all right, or somewhere else, but don't let them sit at your desk. That is sacred space for the teacher. One thing I had to do when I was teaching, I bought my own chair because the chairs that you get are quite, weird. So you don't know who sat in it before or what kind of spills or stains that you might see. So you might want to get your own chair. They're on sale now. I know Office Depot has some of these office chairs that are available. Think about your classroom too. Think of a work display that you could put in your classroom. You know, decorate the boards, decorate the walls, use some paper, make it really nice for your classroom. Wall decorations are really important. Get some posters or some information that would identify your classroom as what you do. If you're teaching science, show some science stuff. If you're teaching history, show some history stuff. Also have a space in your room for supplies. So like keep these supplies somewhere where students can get them, all right? So that this way they know where to go. They don't have to come, Mr. Lee, can I get a pencil? And you have to go over there and get a pencil. It's all there for them. Oh, one other thing. Oh, I'll get to that in a minute. So your classroom, as I always said, you want to work smarter so your students work harder. So if your materials are there, it's self-serve. Maybe have a tray for paper so students can pick up paper, their forms without asking you. Then absent students can pick up the materials also. This is a big thing that I want to encourage you to do. Everything that you send out, like here's my syllabus, everything you send out is already punched. Have it 3-hole punch. Invest in one of these 3-hole punchers. Now the office may have one, but if you got your own, you're going to be better off, especially in this business. And the reason why I had a teacher, nice guy, nice teacher, he distributed paper, and there were 32 students, and they were on little table groups. So he put 4 on each table. Okay, which is good. Okay, he did all that. Student raised a hand. Mr. Lee, what do we do with these papers? Oh, put it in your binder. Okay, and they weren't punched. So therefore, you have 32 students walking up to the hole puncher, boom, going back, boom, going back, and so forth. And that took 20 minutes. And it was pretty much a lot of chaos going on in the room. So if you just spent, 10 seconds punching 32 papers, it would save you a lot of time. Again, you want to you make your time valuable. That's your instructional time. The other thing is the equitability issues for supplies and materials. Now, not all students have an ability to get supplies and materials. Find out. If a student can't get something, don't embarrass them. Say, talk to me later, or send me a note, or send me an email if you can't get a particular supply, especially lab materials, things that require money. Binders are another thing. I've seen teachers ask students to get 2-inch binders or 3-inch binders. Now, who in the world runs around with a 3-inch binder? Number one. Number two, you know how heavy that sucker is? And number three, if you buy a 1-inch binder, a 3-inch binder doesn't cost 3 times as much. It costs like 5 times as much. Like 2 or 3-inch binders are really expensive. So think about that. And how many binders does a student really need? Okay. When you're using media and audiovisual, you're going to be issued a school-issued computer. Whatever you do, don't do crazy things on a school-issued computer. Now, you may do some wacky stuff on your own computer. Keep it on your own computer, okay? Don't do wacky stuff on a school computer, because school computers are traceable. Usually goes through some sort of filters and things like that. So don't even try it. But use the school-issued computer for everything that you're going to do. If you're going to use projection, you're going to use document cameras, smart boards, whatever it is, test it. Get in there and test it before anything begins. That's where these adapters come in, because not all classrooms have all the same equipment that you might have. You might want to check also for connectivity, such as wires. Now, you may or may not be able to get a wire on the first day of class. Amazon will give you a quick delivery if you're a Prime member. But think about what you need. Check it all out before you start school, because you don't want to get in there and say, it's not working, all right? Check it out. Test your equipment. Look for adapters. You may need some cables and things like that. Check also the school's Wi-Fi. Now, you'll have a password to get into the school's Wi-Fi. Use it. And check the video capabilities of not only the computer they give to you, but also of the speed of the Wi-Fi at the school. And please use media effectively. Don't just do a lot of dog and pony show with videos and things like that. Use it effectively. Otherwise, the students will become numb to it. For teaching supplies, again, get new supplies as possible, if possible. There's sales going on, raid items from home and ask friends. For teachers, there are charities that are giving away things. There's a thing called Free Cycle. Free Cycle is an organization for recycling materials that are in bulk. You might want to check that out. Also, SF Scrap, SCRAP, is another supplier you can get things for free. Show your ID card, and they'll let you go in, get supplies from now that you might need for your school, for your classroom. Okay, school site protocols. You should know that each school is unique. So know the emergency protocols and know where the emergency exits are. Now, there are sign in and sign out procedures for most schools. Signing in, you do have to get a physical pen and sign your name, and some schools will ask you to sign out. Now, do it. Don't ignore it. I had a teacher, one of my student teachers ignored it and got in trouble for it, because everybody who signs in, they call that the record, and that's a subpoenable. That's what they keep. It's subpoenable. Does that make a sense? In other words, it can be a subpoenaed record to show that you are actually in the class. So know your secretary too. They can help you get preferred substitutes. If you need to leave or not be in there, they'll get a substitute for you. Now, routines and customs, remember that you are in their house. Every school has different routines and different customs, different protocols for what they do. Learn what they do. It may be different from what you did before. Class rules and expectations. So what are your expectations? Do you want everybody to be quiet or to be a good listener? Is everybody in class working when the tardy bell rings? Do you have your do nows posted? Is everything going ready? Do you have an exit slip or an exit activity so when students leave your class? What about a hall pass policy? Search the web. There are a lot of tools that are available to think about these things. Also find out what your school is doing so you can replicate some of these activities. Now, the cell phone is probably one of the biggest headaches that everybody is facing now. Make sure your policy mirrors what the school does and don't mess it up. If the school says no cell phones, one thing that you don't want to do, this happens, okay? Mr. Lee, we have 5 minutes left of class. Can I use my phone? Sure, go ahead. In a weak moment, forget it. Don't ever do that, because once Pandora's box is open, you're never going to get it back. So be real clear and stick with it. Okay, don't even say free time. There's one word, that's one phrase that I would go ballistic if I hear it in your classroom. All right, we have free time. My eyes will just pop out of my head. I'll say, well, are you crazy? I'll give you free time. Let's go outside. No, the whole thing is that every moment, every time, every second should be accounted for when you're working with your students. All right. All right, preparing materials. Now you're going to develop your class syllabus, and you're thinking about topics you're going to plan for the semester. Now list expectations. What do you expect from your students, and keep it positive, all right? Don't list a bunch of do nots. Do nots don't give an alternative. Like, do not do this. Well, what should I be doing? Keep it positive. Offer assistance if students need help. Do it in a way that it won't embarrass the student. Also, in your syllabus, you might want to consider working on a parent or student welcome letter. Remember, this is your calling card. This is your welcoming calling card when you introduce yourself to your students and also with the parents. In your syllabus, make it interesting. Tell a little about something you're doing. Oh, I'm a recording artist. I record for MGM, Disney, everybody else. No, I don't know. But make it interesting. Tell a little bit about yourself. Have everything printed and stapled and hole punched. Put it all together when you hand it out. It's ready. It's handed out. The other thing you two can do is use different colors. Now, different color paper is great. And the reason why is if you want papers to get lost in a backpack, print it in white because it will get lost. But if you have notes that you want your students to keep, let's say you have terms, or let's say you're teaching biology and you want to keep a list of biological terms or different phylums and things like that, and you're telling your students to keep it, print it on color paper. This way they won't lose it, and hole punch it, staple it if you need to, and it goes into their folders, and they'll find it. They'll find it right away. Important, okay? Yeah. School buddies are those people that could really help you out, especially if you need to use the restroom. Or other things. I'm just using as an example. But school buddies are the ones that are your next door neighbor. They can help you through the maze, what I call the administrivia maze of a school. They can give you hints and landmines of the school and the school culture and the politics of the school. And they can watch your room if you need to leave. And that does happen. Being a teacher, when you're teaching 2 classes or 3 classes in a row, you're teaching 1 class in the morning and then you have homeroom and another class afterwards, that's a big chunk of time. Okay, you may need a nature break. Ask your buddy teacher if they can watch your room just for a few minutes before and then run out and do your thing. All right, so that's really helpful to have neighbors. Special ed students. Now, the IEPs are things that you need to follow up on. Those are the individual education plans. Now, RSP is the Resource Specialist Program. That's the least restrictive program. Now, students are either pushed in or they're pulled out for a time. I encourage everybody to find out about the abilities of the student, not just the disabilities. Let's find out what they can do. And 504 are the accommodations. Now, these could be physical and or emotional accommodations. Now, these are things that you may need to have the students sit closer to you, or they may take timeout breaks, or they have to sit in front of the room, or they're hearing impaired or visual impaired. Whatever it is, you need to help follow and make accommodations for the students who need them. The paraprofessionals or teacher assistants are there to help you. If you have a paraprofessional in that room, have the para work with you. I had a paraprofessional who would sit down in a class. Had a student who had a hearing thing, and I've told this story before. He had cochlear implants. Am I saying it close? Anyway, he had these implants so that he could hear, and so he had a one-on-one para. So the student is really bright. He did his thing most of the time. So she would be sitting in the back of the room reading a book. And as a paraprofessional and as a student, you don't want to just have the paraprofessional do nothing. So I went and I talked to the teacher and I talked to the principal of the school, and I said that paraprofessional should not just be sitting there and just hover around the student that they need to work through. That para should be able to help you, and you are the teacher of record, so you need to give that para direction. Now, IEPs are generally available for grades 7, 8, 10, 11, and 12. When you walk into a school and they're brand new kids and you have a 6th grade or a 9th grade class, those students usually don't get the information that fast to the school. Somehow the information is a lag from the sending school to the receiving school. So work with the student with your best guesstimate of what that student may require before the IEP comes. All right, almost done, folks.